Okay, these are the chart components when we talk about lesson 12, working with charts and graphics. The first thing is, and if you look at this, how do we know where the chart part is and where the graph part is? Well, first I want you to know when you go to create a chart, you must use a data series. In the last notes I talked about you only use one data series for if you're doing a pie chart. Well, this is what the data series is. That's the data you're going to include in your, that's going to be represented by the numbers or by the chart. These numbers here and April are included as your data series. April goes over here in the legend. But then you have your Oakley, and those go down here on your x-axis and the y-axis. Now, this part here, the gray area, which is known as your plot area, that is the actual graph. Okay, the whole feature that holds all components is what's known as your chart area. Okay, the graph area here represents what is where you have your picture and your data. But again, this white area here with everything, with your x-axis names, your y-axis names, your x-axis labels, y-axis labels, and the legend, title, everything, that is known as your chart area. Now, when you talk about a chart, you have an x-axis, which is the bottom, and a y-axis. Normally, your y-axis represents some sort of numbers, whether it's sales, that type of thing, money. Over here, x-axis normally is going to have, you'll see like first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, or you might see whatever the words that you're, could be different cars. Anyway, it's normally represented by text. These are your data markers here. These squares, the blue squares, the green triangles, and these little diamonds. What they do is they represent different your data markers. So these are where your numbers would actually be. Right now we don't have any data labels shown on there, so you don't see your numbers, but you just see the labels. In your data series, again, this is your data series. That is what you choose that's going to be, what you select to be in your chart. Your grid lines, these are back here in the back. Okay. You can have horizontal. Right now we have horizontal lines. You can also have vertical ones, but these are the lines that we use to help determine where exactly our data is. This is your plot area. Again, this is the gray area in the background. That's known as the plot area. These are your tick marks down here at the bottom. Okay. Tick marks can be at the bottom. They'll be at the bottom, but they can either go through your line, they can go outside of your line. These are also tick marks here, but those are tick marks are just used for clarification. A legend is this is one legend. A legend can be in different places. What a legend lets you know, and it lets you know what symbols, colors, any other patterns that are being used, what they represent. But this particular legend is to the right, but your legend, depending on what layout you use, can be at the side, at the bottom, at the top, different areas. You can also drag it. Data labels let you know the exact number, so it shows you their data. If you see that this data label here correlates with the data up here at Oakley Shades, it says 678. What are data labels? They keep us from having to guess. So I no longer have to guess, well, where exactly does this line go, because where is it between 600 and 700, because this tells me it's at 678. So that's what data labels do. They give you whatever data that you selected that these represent, it shows up. Chart titles is at the top. Normally your chart title is going to have something to do with what the spreadsheet title is and what it's showing. So that you always want to include a chart title to let you know what the chart's what's it talking about. Axis titles, products, and units sold are our X and Y axis titles. Okay, this would be your x-axis title. Units sold will be your y-axis titles. They just tell you what data is represented on your x and y axis. Products being on our x-axis here, and units sold are what our numbers over here are representing. If you look at this whole entire thing, and if I ask you what is 1, hopefully you know. But ask yourself on all these, do you know what each of these represent? And I am going to have the things included on what does each one represent for you.